Hello everybody, welcome back to Zap's Graveyard. I know, second episode, I know, crazy, right? It's really not that crazy, just the second episode. But thank you guys for all the support on the first video. As I'm recording this right now, as last I looked at the analytics, it was at 3 views. But that's fine, that's fine. We roll with it, we roll with it. Come on. We can do better. I hope this video reaches more. And honestly, I'm just excited to talk about what we're going to talk about today. Sorry if you see me glancing over at my computer screen. It has information up that I need to remember because, let's be real, I can't remember stuff that well. So, yeah. Also, I don't know if you can tell the light screen. Well, it is. I'm going to try to do that to, like, set the mood for each episode, what fits, what doesn't. Alright, sorry for the pause. There's turning lights off, so it really fit the feel this time. So it actually gets people into, ooh, it's kind of spooky. But as you probably can tell by the thumbnail and the video title, if I do this correctly, is that we're talking about Wendigos today. And also we're going to be talking about Until Dawn because, I'll be honest, that game was pretty good. And I just played it for the first time like a week ago. And I'm trying to just go through all the games that I have. It's a lot. And I have a few horror games in there, so I'm perfectly able to talk about those. Like, here, I'll just go grab the horror games that I have. Alright, I got them. So, I mean, I haven't played much of Death Stranding yet. I've played some of it. Yeah, so far, horror game. I think it's, I really don't remember the last time I played it. I played it like a year ago, so probably going to have to reset that. Resident Evil, 4, actually. I played some of that. Just barely any of that. Until Dawn's over there. I don't really want to go grab it because I forgot to grab it. And also Dead Space, which is somewhere around my room. And then Quiet Place. This game looks very fun. I highly recommend it because, actually, I'm not going to recommend it yet because I don't know what's on it and I don't know if it's going to be good or not. Which I'm hoping it is, and I've heard fairly good things about it, how it uses your mic and other things like that to actually listen if you make noise, which will be very cool, almost like Until Dawn. Because I think I'm just going to start with going into Until Dawn, because that's just how I'm going to start it off, and I'm going to branch out into the other topics that I'm talking about. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to talk about with Until Dawn is how it starts. So in Until Dawn, you play as one of these two characters, one of the sisters. Okay, so sorry for the cut there. I was just pulling up their names because honestly, played it a week ago. I don't really remember anybody's names. But first, how it starts is with you playing as one of the twins, which is Hannah Washington, and it's Hannah and Beth Washington. You start with playing as Hannah, and Hannah gets told, "Oh, hey, this guy named Mike, which is a longtime crush in the game." He has a crush on her. So she goes to make out with him and do other relations. And then Beth finds out, her sister, she goes to tell her it's a prank that's done by Emily, I believe. Yeah, by Emily, who's just trying to prank her and take videos of her and stuff like that. But Beth is too late by the time she gets there. Hannah already found out. And Hannah ran out of the cabin in the middle of the woods while it's snowing and at night. So she runs out there and something starts chasing them. And Hannah goes and she slips off a cliff. Beth falls with her, and you could either make the choice of saving Beth or dropping her. And personally, I chose to drop her. I wasn't a fan of the character Hannah at the time. But yes, I chose to drop Hannah at the time, which I kind of regret, to be honest. But either way, Beth dies. Who you're playing at in that moment when you chase after Hannah, Beth dies by falling as well. The tree branch they were holding breaks. So as that happens, that goes on into the tale of events, where you now play as a character named Sam, and you go onto the mountain. I'm going to try to skip over some things so this video isn't super long. She was Hannah's best friend. And they all go back onto the mountain a year later to just come back, try to rekindle all their friendships, this huge group of people. And as they do that, they start finding out tales of events. Like, One, there's murder on the mountain, which actually turns out to be Hannah and Beth's brother, Josh, who was just trying to scare all the rest of the group into thinking there was a killer on the mountain and to scare them and post it on YouTube to get millions of views. But really, it was just him. He never murdered anybody, but it seemed like he did. And then the second thing, which is the actual problem in the story, is that there's Wendigos on the mountain. And when Hannah and Beth both fell off the cliff, it actually turns out Hannah survived, and the only way she could have lived is if she ate Beth, which is what she did because she was trying to survive starvation. When they fell off the cliff, they fell into a cave where they just weren't able to get out. And so, or Hannah wasn't able to get out. Beth already died. So Hannah ate Beth. Hannah ate Beth right there, and which is a little disturbing, yes. She ate Beth, and then she turned into the Wendigo, because this is how I trail into the different events, because I'm not going to go in how Until Dawn ends, because I think everybody should play it, and I think it's a very, very fun game. I personally loved it, and one of my good friends also personally loved it, and I would highly recommend it. It's a very good game. But what I'm going to branch into now is that in this game, what I like about it, very much about the Wendigos, is that they are the Native American Wendigos. They aren't how Americans like made them to be. In original history with Wendigos in Native American history is that in Native American history there was a man who committed horrible crimes in his tribe. It was a Native American man, and he ate one of the people in the tribe just to survive. And when the townspeople found out about this, they cursed him. They went to go kill him, and he ran into the woods. And as he was in the woods, he slowly turned into this creature after they couldn't find him. So while he was out in the woods, he turned into this creature, which I just said twice. I don't know why I just did that. But he turned into this creature, and what it looks like is this. It more looks like I guess the best iteration for what it looks like is the Rake, or some people know as Skinwalkers, which I'm not entirely too sure on what Skinwalkers are, like off the top of my head, or what they look like, because personally I've never run into a Skinwalker. That would be horrifying. Hopefully that never happens to me, which I don't even really believe Skinwalkers are a thing. But I mean, Wendigos and Skinwalkers are kind of similar, but in American culture, I'm not sure how American culture works with the Wendigo, because Wendigos are much different in American culture. I think it still might be the cannibalism aspect of a Wendigo, which, one second. I'll be honest, I can't find anything out about how American Wendigos become American Wendigos. All I remember is I watched a movie a while back called Antlers, which I'll pop up the cover right here. It was a pretty good movie. It was interesting. It's been a while. I can't really remember all the plot points. And I remember something about a Wendigo, how they turn into the Wendigo in that movie. But that's kind of what I'm going off of in the back of my head, even though I can't really remember. But Wendigos in American culture, which will pop up right here, they're more deer looking. They're huge, and they're more deer looking. They still have the scrawny attributes of a Native American Wendigo, because the Native American Wendigo, which I'll put right here, is much different looking than an American Wendigo, which I'll put right here, because there's just multiple different things about them. And personally, if I had to pick one design I like more, is actually the Native American look to them, because the American look to it is very cool. I will say, it is a very cool design. I love the aesthetic. I love the aesthetic in movies. It's horrifying to me. It is like the noises that go on. Like, I remember Pet Sematary had one where you see the Wendigo in the background, or it was like off in the distance. I can't remember. In the remake. I'm talking about the remake, not the old one. And it shows the silhouette of a Wendigo, and I loved that. I thought that was spooky. I thought that made my skin crawl. And I love that iteration. The drawings are beautiful. of that iteration of the Wendigo, which is actually more common to know as a like just common like cryptid things, like people that are just interested or seen in movie, or even more in games, not in Until Dawn, but even more in games. Wendigos are more deer looking. They're not really this version of a Wendigo. So in this version of a Wendigo, it is very interesting to me because I really like their design, and honestly, it makes more scary because this one, I imagine it being like big, but not as fast. Like it's more clunky. It can't move as fast as this one, because this one in Until Dawn and in other things I've looked up and like been interested about with the Wendigo is that it is horrifying. It moves fast. It's smart, kind of. It's smart. You can't even kill it with a gun. It has to take a silver bullet, or an iron bullet, which is very much like a werewolf, which I also think werewolves are pretty cool. But it's much different than what this Wendigo will ever be and what this Wendigo will ever be, because they are two different ways that I almost wish this Wendigo was more popular in American culture and more in movies, which I believe Until Dawn definitely made this type of Wendigo very popular, because Until Dawn was popular enough to have a remake, which was very cool to me because I honestly enjoy that. I enjoyed that game so much, and it reminded me of a game called The Quarry that I played, which I won't dive into that because that has nothing to do with Wendigos. It just is the same game style. Which is very fun. I played The Quarry first, then Until Dawn, and I very much like both of those games and how they were different. And Until Dawn was very cool with how they set up the climax and the twists and the turns and just everything that was different in that game, with the Wendigos being different from most American culture. And I very much enjoyed not having just a normal, like, Wendigo with antlers, which it's normal nowadays more than this style is, just a normal Wendigo walking around the mountain with antlers. That, yes, it is scary, because they share similarities with the mimicking voices, like how in this one there's a part where, how I played it at least, there was a girl named Jessica who dies, and you're playing as Ashley, and she hears Jessica in the mountain saying, "Hey, come help me, please help me." And it's very cool because it's commonly known that this Wendigo can mimic the voices, and so can this one. Like, what I always tell my friends to spook them, or like I used to have campfires with my friends a lot, and I would tell stories about cryptids and stuff like that, to where the Wendigo would, and this was before I really knew about this one, the Wendigo would like wait for somebody to walk off from camp. Say it's in the middle of the woods, or you're not in a cabin, it's just you're camping, and the person walks off from the camp, and say they go to take a pee, and they go to kill the person, and all they have to do is replicate their voice. They like say, hey Zach, come here, Zach, I need help," and say that's my buddy. I would probably be like, "Oh yeah, okay, he probably needs help. Maybe he like rolled his ankle or something like that." That's what I would immediately go to. And it's so much different, it's very similar to this one because both have that similarity. Even though, yes, they have different designs, and yes, they are different in many ways, they both have things that connect them, which is very cool to me, because I think there's not a lot of, what's the best way to put it? There's not a lot of cryptids that Native Americans will put out there, like Native American cryptids mainly. There's not a lot of Native American cryptids and an Americanized version of that same cryptid that link together. Yes, there are some similarities, but not as much as the modern day Wendigo and the Native American Wendigo. Yes, you can call this one modern day, but it's not as popular as this one, which I feel like this one should get the I think this one should get the love as much as this one does, because it is also very cool. I love both, but I think if I were in a scenario where I'm up on a mountain and it's snowing and I can't get down, I think this one would scare me more than this one would, because this one, in many ways, is scary enough to me that I would be more scared if something is fast moving than something that's slower moving, because something slower, I think I would be able to get away from it. There's a chance. Obviously, I don't think I would survive, which sucks, but there's a chance that I would be faster than this one. So, yeah. And honestly, I think that's going to have to conclude it, because all I'm doing is just ranting about Wendigos at this point, and Until Dawn, which is a phenomenal game, and I think you should play. And anybody who's watching this video, please, 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 go play Until Dawn. Even go watch the movie Antlers that I referenced earlier, which I will say it's not my favorite movie, but it's still a fun watch. It's still a fun horror movie watch. Yes, I don't think people who are scared of horror movies should go watch that. Honestly, I mean, yes, go watch it. Give it the love that it deserves. And go give Until Dawn the love that it deserves. And it shows two different, or honestly, go watch a YouTube video of Until Dawn. Like, I don't know, I think Markiplier played Until Dawn at one point, or Jacksepticeye, which, go watch that, and then go watch Antlers, or go play the game, and then go watch Antlers, or vice versa, watch Antlers, play the game, because the game obviously takes longer, and you'll see the difference in the Americanized culture and then the Native American culture, which is very cool, seeing the difference. And I love the difference between the two. It almost feels like two separate things, but then they connect with minuscule things. And it's very cool how the Americanized one still links back to its original look and its original, like, culture, which is very cool to me, and I just love that so very much. Well, I hate to do this, but if I can, like, I already tried concluding the video earlier, and it, like, went off rails. It's been 2 minutes, I think. Honestly, I'm just gonna have to conclude it here. I love talking about this. This was very fun to me, and like I said, it's very different from last episode. I'm seeing where I fit in. Like I said, though, I'm going to do a lot of horror media, which this was a game slash just talking about a cryptid. I more talked about the cryptid than the game. The game was kind of just an intro into the video. But I very much loved this video, and I would love to see what you guys think. The comments you put, and I don't... Honestly, any engagement helps the video. I'm just saying that any engagement helps the video. So please, anybody watching this, engage with the video. I would love that. I would thank you guys so very much. I will try to reply to every comment that there is. No promises, though, because I'm not very good at making sure with that stuff. I know that sounds stupid, but yes. And everybody, thank you for watching. And as you guys know, please stay in the graveyard, but do not dig.